we go. According to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, 15% of the employees in our companies are 25 years of age or younger. In fact, 1.5 million people are going to be graduating from college this year and looking for jobs in our companies. Statistically, they're going to stay at their jobs for 2 years or less on average. And this should really terrify us because all of the costs that go into ramping up and training a new employee vanish when they walk out the door. So I'd like to take a minute to understand why this happens and present an idea on how we can fix it. First, we need to understand this generation and how they work. So firstly, this is a generation that expects immediate gratification. They have very little patience, and they celebrate very small victories. These people actually grew up in a world where everyone gets a ribbon. Now businesses, they operate quite opposite. They operate on a delayed gratification basis. Everyone has heard the idea that an employee must pay their dues. And honestly, in business, only a chosen few actually get ribbons. So in short, businesses have no idea how to engage these people. The way we can actually create an engaging environment in business for someone of this generation is to take something that they know intimately, video games, and apply some theories across the border. Everyone knows that playing games at work is bad, but what if work can play games along with you? And that's the question. So most modern games have what's called an achievement system built into it, and they do that because they found it to be addicting. Now, an achievement system is a way to provide a trophy, badge, or award outside the normal game parameters. So for example, if we played a little game where I took this chair and had to move it to the other side of the room, that's great. But if I took the chair and I got points for putting it on my head and moving it across the room, or throwing it across the room, you can see how it gives the game a little bit more longevity. And to prove that this actually works, in 2007, the most popular computer game of all time, World of Warcraft, saw a 12% increase in monthly subscribers, despite being an aging game with well-funded competition. And they did that because the publishers had the foresight to implement an achievement system. And the interesting thing about it is the achievement system didn't attract many new players to the game, but it kept the veteran players playing longer, and that's the key. Studies have shown that the small euphoria someone gets when they unlock an achievement in a game nearly duplicates the euphoria they get when they try addicting drugs. And this actually serves as a very strong invisible hand in guiding a person's behavior. Now, in order for an achievement system to work, there's 3 basic rules it must follow. The first couple of unlocks need to be freely given for routine actions. Second, the notification that you received an achievement has to be instant. And third, public profiles have to be available and points assigned so you can compare yourself to see how you're doing with your friends or coworkers. That sounds great, but how do we actually implement that in a company that's not built like a game? And many of us know that companies are sitting on virtual mountains of data just waiting to be mined. Over a decade ago, I worked at American Eagle, and I promised that every pair of jeans I ever sold is still in their system somewhere. And if we unlock that data, we can start getting creative with what we celebrate. For example, everyone has heard of celebrating a 1-year anniversary at work, but what if you can celebrate a 28th day at work, or your 3rd month, or the miles your mouse has actually traveled, or even your 1,000th email sent. In fact, this past week, I learned at work that I had not taken a sick day in the past year at work. And imagine how I would have felt had I gone to my computer on Monday, logged in, and the first thing I see in the morning is this come up. Iron Man, I like the sound of that. The theory of achievement fits very well into the sense of mastery area in Daniel Pink's RSA talk on the truth about what motivates us, because people want to feel like they're getting better at their jobs. Now, I know some of you may be sitting out there and saying, this works great for the younger generation of people, but it's not really going to work for me. I'm too old for games. And you may be right, but I want to admit to you all that I've misled you a little bit. This idea didn't actually originate in the computer gaming industry at all. It was implemented over a century ago by the Boy and Girl Scouts organization in the form of merit badges. Now, how many of us have gone outside of our interests to earn a few more merit badges to show our friends? And secondly, even centuries before that, the true masters of human understanding and motivation, the military, have been using achievements to reward and motivate their soldiers. After all, aren't the Bronze Star, Purple Heart, and Medal of Honor achievements in and of themselves? In closing, we stand at a crossroads where for the first time in human history, we can put together an achievement system on this scale. And please imagine with me the positive impact we can have on the lives of our employees by giving them an engaging and motivating place to work. And then please imagine with me further the positive impact we can have in our companies, having a community of employees that love their jobs and the company that they work for. And all of this is possible, all of it, if we have the courage to make work a little bit more like a game. Thank you.